Welcome everyone. Thank you for attending Niagara University's College of Hospitality, Sport and Tourism Management presents Opportunities in Club Management. So today we have with us our Dean of the College of Hospitality, Sport and Tourism Management, Dean Bridget Nyland, one of our most esteemed faculty, Dr. Deborah Curtis, and one of our current students both in CMAA and in the College of Hospitality, Caitlin Daphne. So to get started, my name's Erin. I work in the Office of Admissions. So if you have any questions related to application, admissions process, anything along those lines, I will be your girl for that. But for the meantime, this event is focused on our College of Hospitality and primarily our CMAA program. So with that, I'm going to hand it to Dean Bridget Nyland to do a short introduction about her and her role at the university.
Thanks so much, Erin. It's really great to see everyone here tonight. I see some familiar names, and I'm glad that you're back to learn more about everything that we have to offer at the college. I'm really excited about what you're going to hear about tonight. It's one of our strongest and marquee program, and you get to hear from Kate Daphne, who's just an all-star and has hopefully, I think Dr. Curtis will let you know all the awesome things that Kate has done here while at Niagara. We're excited to seeing you guys and get the chance to share our program in general, and especially the CMAA program. As Dean of the college, I'm essentially really just kind of responsible, or I guess in charge of just the day-to-day atmosphere that goes on both for the faculty and for the students. I come from the world of the sports side of hospitality. I'm through the sport management. I was a former college athletics director and longtime sport management professor. Those of you that get to work with me, and I hope you'll join us. Very much a team approach at everything we do, whether you like sports or not. We view ourselves as a family up here on Mount Eagle Ridge, and we're really excited at the prospect of you joining us and becoming part of our family and our team. We have a number of events. I know a few of you are kind of in that interesting period of your senior year where you are thinking about where you might want to go next year, or starting to think about your college search. I did want to share with you an event that we have this Saturday that will be occurring right alongside of our open house event. We have an event that we are doing with Pagula Sports and Entertainment, and I'm going to drop in the chat a registration for that, but it is a sports sales symposium that really taps into, although it's sports sales, it really taps in a lot to hospitality and tourism as well. And so we've partnered with Pagula Sports and Entertainment. They do ticketing and everything from obviously their sports franchises, the Bills, the Sabres, the Bandits, and the Amerks, but they also do have an entertainment component to them. And they'll be speaking about that as well. So you are more than invited to attend this free event. If you're local, if you're not local, we will be recording it and sharing it. But there's just a number of events that we offer our students, and this is just one example of that. So again, my name's Bridget Nyland. I'm going to also drop in the chat my email in case you have any more questions. I am always happy to answer any questions you might have about our program or studying sport, hospitality, and tourism management in general. And with that being said, I'm going to hand it over back to Erin and start your evening learning about our fabulous CMA program.
Great, thank you, Dean Nyland. So tonight, if you have any questions as this event is happening, please feel free to put them in the chat or save them for the end. We'll have a question and answer portion for either Deb Curtis or Kate. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Deb, to get us started for the evening.
Terrific. Thank you so much. I just want to share my screen, just have a couple of slides to kind of keep us on target here a little bit. And as Erin mentioned, I'm so happy to have Kate with us because there's no better person to hear about what the awesome things happening in club management than firsthand from a student who's experienced them. Kate is a prime example of getting involved on campus, and I'll let her go through some of the things that she does. Just looking at her signature page on her email, which I copied and put on the last slide, you can see her extensive involvement. And what happens at college is the more you're involved, the more you get engaged, the better opportunities you have, the more people know you. People say it's who you know, but it's really who knows you. And club management is a fabulous career path. And what's awesome about it is that it's a professional organization that has a student chapter. And this first slide just shows you some of the different types of clubs. So club management, people think of clubs as perhaps only country clubs. And country clubs are a huge part of club management, but there's also places like tennis clubs, there's city clubs. In Buffalo, say the Buffalo Club is a city club, but then there's the New York Athletic Club, there's university clubs, yacht clubs, all different types of organizations that people join as a membership. And they're even structured differently. But there's no better place to have club management located than in the College of Hospitality, Sport, and Tourism Management, because really it's one of those careers that absolutely touches all three of those disciplines. So it's fabulous opportunities. The jobs in club management are extensive. There's just so many different ways to go, whether you're involved in putting together events, or you're really into golf itself, or you have no interest in golf at all, but you're great at organizational skills. There's tons of opportunities. And it's really all about creating memorable experiences. I'm going to pause on that and have Kate take over to tell you a little bit about not only her background as far as some of the other things she's involved with on campus, but more specifically is how she's been involved in club management. Kate?
Yeah, so hi, my name's Kate. I am currently a junior at Niagara. So for me, I'm a triple concentration at our college. I do anything, well, from event management to luxury operations, and then I dabble into food and beverage. So for me, country clubs kind of is what brings all three of my concentrations together. My minors are in general business, and I've taken quite a few classes in marketing. So really anything that I've done has somehow wrote me back into the club industry and being able to use them, which is really cool. It's a cool opportunity. For me, I'm involved a lot on campus, as Dr. Curtis had kind of mentioned. I am a CA, as most people know them as RA. So I'm actually now the lead CA. So I am in one of the dorm buildings, and I am leading a whole bunch of our fabulous CAs on campus. So if you're living on campus, next year you'll definitely see me in and around all the dorm buildings. I am a co-director of student tours and enrollment here on campus. So I help lead the team of 50 tour guides. So maybe you've seen me at events, maybe you will see me at events, maybe you'll see me on tour, all that kind of fun stuff. I'm the event coordinator of our student government. So a lot of fun things happen through there, awesome creativity, and some other little things that I do on and off, kind of everyday things. And then I am the secretary and social media coordinator for our Cmaa chapter at Niagara. So a little background about my first step into the country club industry. Our current president, Gigi Ortiz, love her. When we first met, she told me all about this, and I was a brand new little freshman on campus, and I was like, yeah, no, that's just not gonna be what I want. And so she really campaigned for me to kind of be in there and like go and try it out. So I finally broke down my second semester and was like, yeah, let me see what this is all about. Like, I'm hearing really good things. I'm watching people go to all of these amazing places. Why don't I try it? But here I am, little COVID child, like graduated in 2020. I'm not ready to zoom out of the country or anything. So Gigi was like, okay, like, let's start looking at local clubs. So I ended up staying local this past summer at Park Country Club in Williamsville, and met probably one of the best mentors I've ever met in my life, Rachel Zilka. And she's really taught me a lot and kind of found my passion there. So that was really awesome. And I kind of fell in love with it. This summer, I'm set up to go to Bretton Woods, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., as their youth programming and social media coordinator for the summer, which is pretty much a dream job. I get to run around and play with kids and go whitewater rafting on my weekends and take a lot of pictures and just have a complete ball. So for me, that's something I'm looking forward to. And then something that even my club president doesn't know right now is that for winter break next year, I'm talking to the manager of a small kind of country club in Hawaii, on the second largest island in Hawaii. And I will be probably heading down there for the 2 months of winter break. So fingers crossed that all goes to plan, because nothing like sitting on a beach on your day off. So yeah, it's a little bit about me and my kind of background in this industry.
Well, that's great. And I'm sure the students will have a lot of questions for you, but it just shows just taking that first step is so important. Get outside your comfort zone. There's tons of clubs and organizations to join at Niagara. Whatever you're interested in, there's a club. Club management is an awesome club. It's not the club where you're not going for maybe your social outlet as much as your professional development outlet. So students have fun at all the meetings, but they get dressed up. They have book club. They have Zoom meetings or in person. Managers will come in and give advice and go through things with them. So you're really preparing for success, and that's what makes this club, the Niagara University Club Management Association, so successful.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just go to, if I can, slide back one. So what does it take to be successful in club management? It really takes these 4 things. One is to have a great attitude. You want to come in with eyes wide open and really want to learn. The next, you develop relationships. So it is set up in such a way when you go to a regional conference or a world conference that our students just got back from, there are numerous opportunities to meet people, and it's not super awkward. A lot of people, it's that first saying hello to a stranger is a little bit difficult. Well, you get coached all along. So the managers there want you to succeed. So they're very supportive. Then it's focused education. And so we have coursework, not just a club management course, which we do have a club management course, but there's other coursework that leads you to be successful in this career path, whether that's marketing or food and beverage or whatever area that's most interesting to you. And then getting a meaningful experience. That's the thing that really bumps up your resume, is to get that experience. They say, oh, well, we can't, many places says, we can't hire you because you have no experience. Well, you have to get experience someplace. So getting these internships are crucial. And Kate's internships are just phenomenal. And they come with, you get paid, and you also get, and almost everyone get housing. So it is a great way to learn and make some money while you're doing it. The other notes I put at the bottom of this is alumni. So because we've had a super successful program for the past dozen years, we have a lot of alumni who are managers in the industry now. And they are first choice. They're looking for NU students to come give them a chance at their clubs. They know what the program has to offer, so they know the kind of attitude and skill set our students come with. The other note that Caitlin didn't tell you about, but I'll brag about her just a little bit, is there is a variety of different opportunities to kind of shine. And you have to take some initiative. So Kate and Gigi took initiative and came up with an innovative idea. And this was a competition amongst all the colleges and universities who have CMAA programs. And the idea was, what innovative idea can you come up with that members could take advantage of and positively impact their membership or their staff? And so they did that, and they got in the top grouping that was able to, 3 teams across the country were able to present in San Diego. They were one of those 3, and they were actually came in first place. So they did their presentation, and there was a panel of judges, and they were 3 very good presentations, but Gigi and Kate had the best. And so, Kate, could you just tell them briefly about what your project was?
Yeah, so that was kind of surreal. When you think about it, for a lot of people, that's kind of a dream to be able to stand up in front of people who are your mentors, people who have been in the industry for so long. I mean, we had past presidents of the entire organization sitting in that audience watching us. So talk about nerves and pressure, but we had the idea to kind of focus on staff. Within COVID, it's hard to keep a staff, and it was hard because the hospitality industry was hit pretty decently. So we were trying to figure out how to keep our staffs engaged and keep them coming back and making them feel wanted, and creating that experience. Just like the slide says, having a great attitude, developing relationships, focused on education, all of those things come with having somebody who cares about your membership just as much as you do. So for us, we made this subscription box that gets sent to some of your employees' houses, that is either bi-monthly or maybe quarterly, so like 4 times a year, and it has little things from your club, little gifts, little education, all of these kind of things that make them feel appreciated, so that when they go home from that 12-hour shift and it's sitting on their doorstep, they go, oh, this was worth it. Sometimes the littlest things can make your day completely different in our industry. So for us, we were kind of focused on that, and yeah, it was awesome to win. It was awesome getting down there. If anybody wants to talk about the whole situation, we should not have gotten to where we were. There were a lot of things kind of stacked up against us, and yet when we won, let me just tell you, we rode that feeling for a little while, because that was awesome. So yeah.
Oh, and they did a wonderful job. And what's even more valuable than the $500 they won, which always comes in handy, is the fact that everyone knew about it. Is now, instead of them having to go up to people come up to them. So that's a pretty great position to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was kind of cool. We did, right after the presentation we won, we took pictures that are now on the national site, and then we had multiple people hand us their business cards going, hey, if you haven't found anything this summer, we'd love to welcome you down to our club. So it was awesome.
So part of development is this internship program we talked about, and our students have internships. That the thing that they have, they get to choose between internships. The overwhelming majority of students have been offered multiple internships, and so they're making the decision, what fits my career path best? What am I most interested in? Who can I learn the most from? Rather than, am I going to make $1 more an hour at this place? Because frankly, at this level, it's all about learning and developing. And then there's entry-level job opportunities. So and because of the internships, you're not starting when you graduate on the bottom rung, because you've already had this experience. So when you graduate, you get pretty decent jobs. And then there's mid-level management career opportunities, because CMAA, if you look at the logo that's on that PowerPoint, professionalism, education, leadership. And so that's a key in this organization. And it's not, it is an organization of managers and professionals in the field. And it has people from internships, from student internships to general managers and everybody in between, because again, development is so important, and helping each other is super important. So I told you we had a pretty good chapter, and this says it all. If you look at those smiling faces, this is because this year, last month, or January, February last month, the students were awarded the 2021 Student Chapter of the Year. So that's against all these other colleges and universities. And what's that based on? That's not just who's most popular. It's based on which students are the most engaged. So those students that have, we do more professional development programs, the students who go to different meetings, go to chapter meetings, go to regional meetings, go to other types of professional developments. The students that are the most engaged in participating, there's points awarded for everything that happens. And so the Student Chapter of the Year went to Niagara University.
Yeah. Can I speak about that for a second?
Absolutely, please do.
So I don't know the exact age, the exact range, but originally this was a competition kind of among schools, and Niagara University won 5 or 6 years in a row, to the extent that the organization had to go back and think about categories to allow other students and other chapters to actually have the chance to win, because we had just kind of dominated for so long. We went on to win 11 years in a row, only losing last year to COVID, which does not count. So we do like to joke that we have won 12 years in a row in person. So just kind of carrying that title around, like it was mentioned before, people know Niagara. People in this industry love Niagara students. And when I found my internship this summer at San Diego, when I was walking around our career fair, the guy who will be my future mentor and boss for the summer took a selfie with me. Legitimately, man in a suit, I'm in a suit. I'm like, oh, we're super professional. He turns around, he goes, oh my gosh, you know Rachel Zilka. Oh my gosh, you're a Niagara University student. Hold on. And he spins around, pulls his phone out, takes a picture. We have a selfie. He's like, I gotta send this to Rachel. We go way back. And so it was just kind of one of those things where when we say that Niagara University kind of is very good in this side of the industry, we aren't kidding. And it's kind of awesome to walk around and know that you're working with an organization that has a good sense of pride behind it. So yeah, that's just my little plug for it, because we have won 12 years in person.
It makes a huge difference in getting jobs, because employers know that the expectations are high and that Niagara students are going to meet or exceed those expectations, which is awesome. So club management, there are career opportunities in almost every facet that you can think of, and all involving hospitality, sport, and event management. So we think it's pretty special. What makes it different is the amount of education and training and coaching that goes along with it. So you don't have to come in knowing anything about club management at all. What you need to bring with you is a great attitude, and everything else we can help you along the way. So what kind of questions can we answer for you tonight?
Feel free, everyone, to put any questions you have in the chat, or feel free to unmute yourself if you're comfortable doing so. All right, I'll get us started with a question. If I am an incoming freshman this fall, how do I get involved with CMAA?
Kate, you want to take that?
Yeah, so you'll come find my pretty face most likely at the club fair, or you'll see all of the lovely people on the screen in front of you. There'll be one or two of us there, kind of cheering us on. So we'll probably be there at the club fair in the fall. You can also follow our Instagram. It's NUCMAA. If you DM that, you DM my phone. So if you're interested in joining and you want to get some other information before, you can do that. And we can kind of get you involved with when the first meeting is, kind of coming on, joining, learning everything that we learn. And I am very excited because hopefully we'll be gearing up for even more club tours and being able to travel again in the fall with less restrictions. They also, rumor has it, are bringing back the student chapter conference. So hopefully we'll be able to see you at that. But yeah, find me either at the club fair or follow us on Instagram and we can kind of get you set up.
So as Kate was saying, there's club tours. So one of the things that you do as part of the education and at meetings or for class is to go tour clubs in the area regionally. So within the greater Buffalo area and Rochester, and take a look at how those clubs are set up. Also, there's fundraising involved. So one of the things are like, geez, how do you go to San Diego? You go to regional conferences, which sometimes are in Pittsburgh or Cleveland, and how do you afford all these things? So there's a couple ways. One is as far as clubs, all the clubs have student government funding available to them, as long as you provide some level of service and that you participate in some level of fundraising. What's great about club management is some of the fundraising that has been done is actually putting on events, and the events are something that give you experience. And then there's other fundraisers that can be just auctioning off golf foursomes or those type of things. So to go on a pretty expensive trip to San Diego, you're paying about, I think it was about 25% of the actual cost, because the rest is being paid for by student government and the club itself from its other fundraising sources.
Perfect. Thank you, Deb.
And if I may hop in there just as Dean, I want to say the commitment to the college for CMAA remains strong. And really all of our student clubs, we really do make an effort to defray the overall cost of these experiences. We know that, in addition to paying for college students, we don't want students to feel blocked out at all. We have the Mets Corporation has given us a scholarship fund that allows us to kind of support various efforts. A portion of that money was used to offset the Pittsburgh trip, but we do try to keep things very affordable for students, and especially we know the importance of traveling and attending CMAA events, and we don't want to see anyone in terms of priced out of that. The last thing I'd add before I know we have a question in the chat is just the one thing that I think Dr. Curtis and Kate both emphasized, which I think is really important as you think about what you want to study and career pathways forward, is what CMA represents is really a management training program that doesn't really exist in a lot of other parts of business generally. And you can really go in and get the educational and the management training and job experience in a paid atmosphere that doesn't often exist in other places anymore. So we've had a number of alumni start off in CMAA, work in club management. They've either chose to stay in club management or perhaps take those skills to another part of what we call the experience economy. So as you kind of start to think about, well, where is my degree going to lead me? As I said at the beginning, I think the CMAA option provides some structure for students when you're really trying to figure that out.
I completely agree. I do not plan to end up in a club. So for me, when I was thinking about it, I was like, no way. But I would, if I were to go back, I wouldn't change anything about it. There's so much you learn in all facets of this industry within one internship that you just simply, it's hard to find another organization or internship program that would give you the same amount of knowledge in the same amount of time with the way that it pays and the way that it treats their staff. So even if you don't know if clubs are for you, I would still recommend joining it, getting that experience and kind of using that to your advantage.
And that answers part of the question that was asked. If a student in high school wanted to get an experience to see an industry, if they would like it, what experience would they recommend? I would recommend that they join CMAA. And then because you join doesn't mean that you are making a commitment for your next 30 or 40 years of your career. You're making a commitment semester by semester to see how things are going, to see what kind of a fit that you are. What do you like? How are you learning from there? And then you can get part-time jobs working at clubs outside of this traditional internship. The difference between getting a part-time job and getting an internship is the level of responsibility. So you could get a job as a caddy or a server at a country club, and that would be fine, and you would learn a lot from your engagement with different types of people. But in an internship, it's more like professional development, where in some internships you may be doing a variety of different levels of duty, but your level of responsibility and your exposure to the decision making is so much more when you have an internship. And so I would recommend that getting any type of work experience within hospitality is positive. Hospitality, when I say hospitality, I mean hospitality, sport, tourism, all of it. It is all within experience organizations, things that are working with variables that change every day. The events change, the participants change, the focus changes a little bit, and getting used to working through and within those changes is super important. So I recommend give it a try, see if it's the right fit for you.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you, Deb. I will say I was an alumni of the hospitality program as well, and that was always my biggest regret, was not getting involved or at least trying CMAA. I did have an internship at a private club and I did really enjoy it. It wasn't my long-term career goals, but that was okay because it gave me another experience in that hospitality professionalism industry. All right, do we have any other questions? If not, I have another one. So you mentioned going to the San Diego World Conference in February, and you also mentioned going to Pittsburgh. What does travel and conferences look like for prospective CMAA students?
So there's the local travel, which would be going to the clubs within the greater Buffalo and Rochester area. Then there's a regional conference. And then there's a world conference. The world conference next year, I believe, is in Orlando in February. She's already looking at the temperature in San Diego wasn't quite as warm as the students would like. So they're excited that Orlando is about 10 or 15 degrees warmer than San Diego. So going to these conferences are really awesome. And we really didn't talk too much about the actual conference, but you're going into professional development programs, say an hour-long program, many to choose from several times during the day. And you're attending those with a lot of industry professionals, many more industry professionals than students. And then there are some student-only events. So there's big name speakers brought in. Bill Walton was one of the speakers at a morning breakfast from the formerly of the Boston Celtics and an NBA commentator. They bring in big name speakers. They have so many different events, social events, training events, and then there's also a career fair there for the students, and where you get an opportunity to have a one-on-one and meet with a potential employer, and then schedule a regular interview while you're there and go into a separate area in the conference center and meet and do your interview and line up your internship for that coming summer.
It's awesome.
Thank you. And looking back at the question in the chat, I might want to rephrase a little bit, I think, on what Rachel's trying to get at. So is there anything they can do in high school right now to see if hospitality or the CMA club management is something that they might be interested in? Is there any recommendations you have about getting involved in jobs or any organizations at the high school level?
We have an active student member in our club. She spent, before she came to Niagara, 2 summers with the Country Club of Rochester as a part-time job. So for her, that kind of got her foot into the door. But I think, like Dr. Curtis was kind of mentioning, it isn't the same thing. So if you are looking to see if country clubs specifically are your kind of style, you can very easily. They have huge summer opportunities, because once you hit that Labor Day kind of between like Labor Day, 4th of July, all of the stuff that happens in the summer, they do giant summer soirees and golf tournaments, and it is a constant party every day at a country club. So there is always something to learn from that, especially if maybe you even mentioned that depending on the club, if you were more interested in possibly doing an internship, like a paid internship part during the summer before coming, that's up to you. But also, you don't have to know a single thing about our industry to be in the club. We kind of do that for you. So you'll learn very quickly what you do and don't like in our industry, especially when we're going on these club tours. I know right now we're looking to possibly gear up and go to Rochester for just the fall semester. So Rochester, I know Toronto was possibly on the game plan again to go and tour some of the local clubs around there. We'll be doing student chapter conference, which I'm not sure where that is. I think that'll replace regional this year, but we aren't sure. And then, like Dr. Curtis said, spring, we're looking at Orlando, and you get to travel and see all these clubs and see all of these positions and have these opportunities to kind of like shadow and work with. So you learn very quickly. So you don't really have to do anything before you come in. But if you are very worried, just start asking, start kind of inquiring, reaching out to country clubs, to restaurants, even event spaces, and learning.
You may also want to, if let's say you want to get a part-time job, if you're in the Western New York area or whatever area you're in, like you go to Park Country Club or Transit Valley or one of the country clubs and get hired there, and then talk to people and say you're interested in perhaps pursuing this and going to Niagara University. I'm sure then that will open further conversation, because again, we've built, Niagara University has built over the past dozen years an excellent reputation with all the clubs regionally and so many nationwide. So
yeah,
try it.
if you were to reach out, even like I said, to one of us, if you aren't local, between the students, like especially our kind of like, what do we call it, governing board, like president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, between all of us, we've kind of gone everywhere. And most of us will probably know somebody from the state in which you want to go to or which you are living in to try, or we'll know somebody who may know somebody else. So even reaching out to us to see if we can find some opportunities would, I mean, it never hurts to ask.
Which reminds me, I'll put then your contact information back up here. There's, if you wanted a text or email, and a few of her things that she's involved with. I even had to shorten a little bit to fit it on the page, but Kate is very much involved, and it does make a difference being involved.
Very funny. That's outrageous. I'm gonna shorten my email signature.
That is shortened for you.
I know.
All right. Thank you both so much. Do we have any final questions from any students on the call? All right, so Deb and Kate, if you have any closing remarks, anything you want to leave the students with tonight, we'll finish up with that.
Go ahead, Kate.
Oh, me first. This industry isn't what it sounds like. Country clubs kind of sound stuffy. They sound overwhelmingly traditional. Don't let the name kind of throw you off. Just going to San Diego alone, I've gotten to experience a lot of things that are coming up, whether it be changes in leadership and changes in cultural balances and changes in even just the style of club. You can go to traditional if you really like. You can go to family based. No matter which way you go, you'll find a place that you like. So be careful about the word country club in your head and what perceptions you have over it, because I promise we can find a club that is completely opposite to what you think and what you're kind of worried about. So that's kind of the awesome point that I like to say, because that's what scared me off for my first semester and what brought me in my second. So
Great. Well, and I just want to thank everyone for your time. And club management, I think, is a fabulous field. But even more important than that, at Niagara University, we really genuinely are concerned with your success. And what your vision of success may change over time. And we're here to help support you. So if you have any questions at all about Niagara University, about the College of Hospitality, Sport, and Tourism Management, contact Dean Nyland, contact me, contact anybody at the university, and we will be more than happy to help you in any way that we possibly can. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Deb and Kate. I know you guys have very busy lives, and Dean Nyland as well. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions, but if not, have a great evening and enjoy the spring weather.